Good afternoon, Dylan. It is Monday, and I'm kind of glad to hear that you want the system to change and you have actually got some realistic outlook on how it's probably going to proceed, more than most other people that I'm aware of, who have the idea that it's a one quick band-aid and the whole problem is fixed forever kind of deal. Yours is far more reasonable than what most people seem to be uttering on how to fix the system. Because yours isn't a fix, it's just a process, and it takes many steps to get there. And like I said, a lot of people are just like, quick band-aid, we're done. Don't worry about it ever again. But that's what got us to our problem, is these quick little band-aids always being thrown over the problem, and then you ignore it because you put something in place. Since you have a decent idea of how it's got to progress, you seem to have nailed down what I've heard, from the president himself, say that the government is a slow-moving entity. It takes forever for anything to get going the way it needs to. Our government is incredibly slow and not up to date in terms of what's going on around it so much. Technology, I don't even think it's up to date on that for the most part either. But it's incredibly petty, and I think that's its biggest problem. Not most of its other things like the technical fallbacks or, its lack of self-awareness, maybe other problems to deal with, but I don't think they are the biggest one hurting it at the moment. I think it was last year, the government shut down for almost a month because the two different political parties, the Democrats and the Republicans, couldn't come to an agreement on a critical decision that went past its deadline, and the government basically stopped working for the better part of a month. That should never have happened, but a petty argument between two opposing parties prevented them from working together to solve a much greater problem. And I think that is just another one of the many, many faults within our system, as are the other ones I've already described. And if our government is such a big, lumbering beast that takes forever to change and adapt, these problems are going to take more than an election cycle. They're going to take years, maybe decades to fix, of dedicated effort. That's not including the effort of everything else that kind of gets done and has to be put on the back burner to take care of another crisis somewhere. As much as I would love to say, let's just tear it all down, burn it, and start all over from scratch, I think that may be a better idea in the, to make you feel good right now sense, because you think you're getting some progress real quick and everything will be better magically. But I think in the long run, or in the practical run, or the realistic run, or whatever, any other scenario other than just pure imagination, that idea of just tearing it down and rebuilding it from scratch is going to cause so much more problems in the long run, because you've taken away the government, so you've kind of removed the central point of the idea of the government, and then you're trying to put something back in its place that not everybody's going to agree on, and there's nothing saying they have to follow it now. Which, if you look at any country that's ever been through a civil war, is usually a long, bloody, and kind of disastrous affair in many, many ways. And that's, if it gets violent. If it's peaceful, usually those take decades to solve themselves too, even though economically they kind of get crushed in the process. Anyway, Dylan, that's all I've got for today. I will see you on Wednesday. Bye.